Amazing, beautiful people, and welcome back to another anime reaction video. How you guys doing? Alright, I read the freaking comment section. I saw what you were all recommending, and we are going to jump into that bad boy right now. Now, there's a couple of videos that have been recommended, and a lot of them are from this channel called WOAH. One of them is called The Manga That Betrayed Us, and the other one is called The Joke That Killed an Anime. Pretty curious about this. What the heck kind of joke could kill an anime? And do they mean this literally? I don't know, kind of curious. And this has been heavily recommended, so I figured, screw it. Let's just jump into this bad boy. Now, I'm going to say something I've been saying a lot, but you guys absolutely suck at doing it. Go to the damn comment section, leave a recommendation, and whichever comment gets the most likes, I will record a reaction to. Every time I say this, I'm like, oh man, I wonder what they've recommended today. Go to the comment section, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Do you guys just have no recommendations anymore? You guys are bloody useless. Like, absolutely useless. Are you guys watching this going, no man, I'm done. I'm tapped out. Give me a freaking recommendation! Jesus! You lazy SOBs, man. What's up with you? Anyway. Hazing over. Let's jump into my first time ever reaction. I love you, really. Ever reaction to by the way, shout out WOAH, to The Joke That Killed an Anime.
Kokoro Connect is a Japanese light novel series written by Anda Sananatsu, and in 2012 it received an anime adaptation. This anime was generally well received by critics and fans, and fairly popular too. That being the case, how many copies of its Blu-ray do you think it would have sold? Now, keep in mind that many anime aren't exactly known for selling tons of Blu-rays. Instead, the typical tactic seems to be that you make these things very expensive and cast a smaller net. Even so, given that this was one of the more popular anime series in...
I have actually wondered about that, because whenever I've looked to buying like an anime season, because I thought it'd be kind of cool to have a few, or like, not, I was gonna say manga, but not really manga, but whenever I look to buy an anime season, they are well expensive. And is that on purpose then? Because there's no bloody reason for them to be that expensive. Like, they're just marking them up for the sake of it, because they're not expensive to make.
2012. I would expect it to safely crack 10,000 sales for the year. Just based off my gut, I feel like that's a safe bet. But it didn't. No, not even close.
How many?
It only sold 2,140 copies.
I don't know if that's bad.
Of course, sales like that don't bode well for a sequel, and sure enough, it never received a proper one. Because of that, Kokoro Connect was doomed to be an incomplete adaptation, just like so many anime that people enjoy. But why? Was there something wrong with it that made it only sell this many copies? I mean...
do you know what? Shout out this video, because I'm already well curious. Why? Why didn't it? This anime I've never heard of until right now. Now I want to know. What the hell happened? What went wrong?
From the series' reception, that doesn't seem to be a major factor. In fact, a lot of people really like it and would have loved to see more. So, what happened?
What happened, bro?
Well,
tell me.
A joke happened. Or maybe joke isn't quite the right word.
What, in the anime? But it still did really well for reviews.
Mitsuhiro Ichiki is the main character in this story. See, he's a voice actor who, back before 2012, had managed to voice in a number of anime.
Alright, some pretty good ones.
Mostly as supporting characters.
I've only seen one of them,
So, when he received an audition for an anime original character in Kokoro Connect, I'm sure he was excited to attend. He went there, performed, and then he waited. Eventually, a promotional event for the anime was held, and Ichiki was invited. This event, which would not only contain in-person attendees, but was streamed to one of Japan's largest video sites, no doubt represented a big moment in Ichiki's career. After all, though he hadn't yet heard back about the audition...
Is that the Undertaker, by the way? That is a good choice of poster.
How could this be anything other than good news? In fact, all signs pointed to his anime original character being announced here, along with him acting that character. Really, that's the only thing that would make sense. Except that the anime's producer, Takahiro Yamanaka, had a different plan. Because this character Ichiki had auditioned for, they didn't exist. They had never existed. So as Ichiki walked out on stage, a video began to play. An embarrassing video from his audition, which hadn't even been an audition. No, the other actors were certainly actors, but they weren't looking for this part. They were specifically there to fool Ichiki, to make him believe that this was real. And as the audition went on, they asked him to say his lines in purposely silly ways, yell loudly, that sort of thing. And Ichiki had to hear this play out in front of the crowd. The fact that he wouldn't be voice acting in the anime was revealed right then and there. But it was even worse than that. Because this was all fake, he had never been considered for the part at all. He had been the butt of a bad joke, but again, I think joke might be the wrong word here.
This is so messed up. This is so messed up. This poor dude He just applied for a job, went down, was completely made a fool of, then brought out on stage for a live event and just made the fool of again. Not even given the job, and he was like, oh, I must be getting the job. This is so messed up. Holy shit, this is so,
From
this
here,
is
Ichiki
crazy.
was offered a different role, that of the anime's public relations head, who would help drum up excitement for the anime's release. So not
The head of the anime's... So he's not even in the freaking thing. He's literally not even in the thing. How? Who would have thought this would have been a good idea? What the hell, man? He had no idea about this.
Not only had these people purposefully embarrassed him, not only had they made a mockery of his passion and voice acting work, they now wanted him to promote the series. However, this wasn't even a normal type of promotion. No, Ichiki had specific missions assigned to him, such as reaching a certain amount of followers on the official Twitter account. If he failed, well, then he would face a punishment game of sorts, like being electrocuted on video. Yet Ichiki accepted this job. Why? It's honestly hard for me to imagine why. Maybe...
Am I having a stroke? I'm so confused. So this dude was literally embarrassed and ridiculed and went through all this shit for nothing, had no idea about it. Then they offer him a random ass job and say, like, promote the anime or we electrocute you. Well, it wasn't even that. It was promote the anime and we'll electrocute you.
He was worried that he would come out of this looking worse if he didn't. Maybe he thought that this job would still be a good opportunity for his career.
Maybe it was literally that. Maybe he thought that if he said no, kicked off, or got angry, he would look like the villain.
Regardless, things got worse from here. Some other people involved in the anime's creation were found to have been mocking Ichiki and his dream of being a voice actor. Eventually, fans caught wind of this, and they were not happy. Many Japanese ones vowed to outright boycott the anime, and based on these sales, it seems like they did. This joke had come to fruition, and it had killed the anime.
The thing in Japan is bullying is a big no-no. It's just no. It's such a big deal in Japan. In a lot of Asian countries, to be honest, it's just so bad. And bullying that becomes public is just like, it's a death sentence to a career. It's game over. So the fact that they were ridiculing him and treating him this way, there's a very fine line between a prank and bullying. But the second the person doesn't seem to be like reciprocating it positively, that line becomes much less. And you can tell that that's what happened here. And the fans of any project will always like rally behind the victim. It's so
This
harsh.
story, though not exactly widely well known, is definitely discussed among anime fans online to some degree. And what I outlined above has been taken as the true version of events. Each time, though, the primary source listed for this is a Pastebin article from 2012, which contains translations for certain interviews and discussions. Here, another popular voice actor from the show was found to say that he didn't think seeing the moment a person crumbles would be so beautiful. It's also stated that Ichiki told the story to another voice actor, Tomokazu Sugita, who said that, if it were me, I would remember the face of everyone there forever. However, there's an issue with this story of bullying, and that's what Ichiki himself has to say on the matter in his own blog post. Here, Ichiki writes that while he can understand people in...
Ichiki genuinely sounds like a sweetheart. Big time. Just sounds like a sweetheart. Clearly, like, not wanting to make anyone feel bad, not wanting to, like, you know, like, tread on any toes in the industry or anything like that. It just sounds like someone who's just, like, a bit scared, to be honest, to speak out.
Interpreting this negatively, he doesn't see this as a case of bullying. In fact, he writes that he's saddened whenever he sees someone say that they feel sorry for him or that they can't forgive the perpetrators. If anything, this disdain for those he's working with seems to be the main thing causing him pain. As he says, I don't think anyone who writes articles on the internet for fun would ever understand. He even goes so far as to specifically state that he's now experienced the horror of the internet firsthand. At the end, he promises that
This guy genuinely just sounds like he's too precious, man. He's too sweet. He really is. Like, they treated him so harshly and so wrongly, and and the fact that he agreed to help them promote this as well, and even be electrocuted and weird shit like that for like out of nowhere, and then like people were ridiculing and mocking his like choice to become a voice actor, and then he turns around and is like, no, please don't be mean to the people who are being mean to me. And the worst part of him is he's looking at the internet going, wow, the internet's so harsh to all these people who were awfully behaved. It just sounds like a real nice guy.
he didn't write this article under pressure, though he knows some will believe that regardless, but he still wants to keep telling the truth. Well, okay then. So
either that or he's just really, really trying to make sure this doesn't affect his career. And he's worried about being blacklisted.
Ichiki doesn't see himself as the victim here. That's good. But the way I, and I'm sure many of you, react to this blog post will reveal just how moronic this publicity stunt really is.
It is so dumb.
How the heck am I supposed to know what's true? After all, as much as I want to believe these words regarding the situation, he now has a job to protect, along with his future prospects of employment in this industry.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was saying. He does. He has a job to protect. Like, imagine he comes out and just goes, this was awful, and then no one else hires him. Like, that could literally happen, especially in an industry like this. It does sound to me like he's scared about his job.
Simply impossible to know the truth here. Beyond that, it's similarly impossible to not look at what happened to him and find it upsetting. Even if he did take it well,
Poor guy, man.
It's such a horrible thing to do. That's not a good practical joke. It's just mean.
It is
Still,
mean.
more than that, his words about the horror of the internet ring true. Years later, this incident still follows those involved, and details have become super hard to verify. For instance, voice actor Takehiro Mizushima states that the outrage, in part, stemmed from an upload of the incident in a form different from the original intention. What does this mean exactly? No idea. I don't know which video was uploaded. I can't even watch the original live stream anymore. It's gone. Meanwhile, that page...
The only way that this could have been even considered to be acceptable is if he got a different role. And even then, I still don't think so. Like it would be like, oh, we're joking, that role doesn't exist, but we actually have this other role that's exactly the same, and we'd love you to be a part of it. And then it's like, oh, you guys, like, it could have been a bit more playful. But the fact is, it's like, ha ha ha, no, there isn't even a role. You don't get the job. Ah ha ha. Like, what the hell, man?
An article, as helpful as it is, doesn't provide
in front of
sources
people as
for
well.
most of its information. As far as I'm concerned, this event is...
This is something that I do so much now. If anyone says anything these days, the first thing that comes to my head is evidence. Anything. Anyone's like, oh, this person, that happened, this was this, like this. Yeah, they're like, oh, it wasn't meant for this, it wasn't meant for that. It's like, okay, well, prove it. Evidence. Prove it. It's like when there was like an interview recently, someone saying like, oh, this person sent me these messages and sent me those messages, but never showed the messages or even showed anybody else. That was never verified in any way. I could show you the messages right now. I'd be like, messages here. Like, it's not hard. So the second someone doesn't do something like that, I think they're talking shit.
Taken on a life of its own, with correct information and misinformation mixed together until it's impossible to tell one from the other. I mean, the TV tropes page for Ichiki even states that he missed a chance to compete in a major esports event because he instead went to audition for this fake role in Kokoro Connect. Is there any proof given for this statement? No, it's just there, whether it's true or not. Plus, the reaction to this type of thing, it has real-world repercussions. Like another voice actress was harassed for no other reason than an unproven connection to producer Yamanaka. Obviously, none of this is to say that the original incident, the original live stream and public humiliation is fake, but the specifics of it. Many of those have been lost to time. Meanwhile, the popular claim that this incident is to blame for the show's lack of a second season, it might be true, but I'm not quite so sure, considering that 3 series that are now more popular than it had similarly low sales, and as far as I know, they didn't have some controversy surrounding them. I mean, I have no doubt that this incident didn't help, but again, I can't help but feel that this is a moment where it's near impossible to tell what really happened, and there are a lot of assumptions going on. One thing I do know is that in the Kokoro...
I will say that in anything like this, though, it becomes dangerous to touch, and that's probably what killed it. I don't think it was the sales, because like I said, the sales didn't look that bad to begin with. I don't really know what's considered a great sale, but we just saw comparisons to other shows. And I'll say this, in this kind of industry, the second a topic becomes too much of a hot topic, no one wants to pick it up. Like, if it had all this, like, controversy and drama surrounding the first season in any kind of regard, then they would just be like, it's not worth it. Like, just for that. Even if it sold amazingly, they'd probably be like, it's not worth it.
Kokoro Connect OVAs, Ichiki did voice a minor character, and he has moved past this incident. That being the case, there are really only 2 main takeaways I can get from this story. Public pranks like this are absolutely moronic, especially when they're part of a company's PR campaign. Just an absolutely brain-dead decision there that put everyone, including Ichiki, at an increased risk of future harassment and in an unnecessarily difficult position. Second, don't necessarily take this internet stuff at face value. After all, when I read the story for the first time, I was ready to make this video and come out swinging about how disgusting this behavior is and all that. But upon digging just a little more, it became clear that, in its own way, that would only be contributing to the thing Ichiki says caused him the most issues. The horror of the internet. The way people treat these problems like they have all the info at their disposal, even though they haven't talked to any of these people, even though they haven't been directly involved. Sometimes you got to take a step back from this stuff before making assumptions. Otherwise,
what the hell's up with that video?
It might be led to a string of information that's impossible to confirm.
What the hell are these videos being recommended here?
Harassment, and who knows what other terrible things.
Huge shout out to the channel, by the way. Huge shout out. The first time I ever watched one of their videos properly, and this was absolutely amazing. Low art, man. I can't wait to check out their other videos. There's another one, like I said, called The Manga That Betrayed Us that's quite popular, so maybe we can check that one out. This is a weird story. The thing is, I'm one of these people who thinks, like, pranks are great, right? I think pranks are great. Not the new fake-ass bullshit pranks, and not even, like, the old weird, like, ones, and, like, not TikToker harassment pranks, like a genuinely good prank. I love a good prank. I used to love shows when I was growing up. This sounds weird saying, but yeah. Like Dudesons and Dirty Sanchez and Jackass and the MTV shows and Punk'd and that sort of stuff. I thought they were fun. I did. This is just me being honest. I think it's fun. And I love a good prank. But there's a formula to it. I'm not saying it's some sort of complicated thing that people need to know, but you need to make sure that there's no permanent damage, no permanent repercussions, nothing. Like, it needs to be a light-hearted prank that in the moment, it's like this instant reaction, ha ha ha, silly, and done, and everyone laughs about it. That's a good prank. You know, like a jump scare prank, kind of funny. Yeah, there was a really good one where it's like a bunch of people filled up all the seats in a cinema, like those sort of things, and then people go like sit in weird places. Like, they're light-hearted, no one gets hurt. One of my favorite pranks is when this person had a giant speaker and would walk around doing sound effects for people. While they're eating, they'd make a crunch noise and things like that. And it was just silly. Like, things like that. I think they can be really good. And when friends prank each other, like in Jackass and Dirty Sanchez and Dudesons and all those sort of things, those are fun too. The issue I have with this one is it's permanent. Completely permanent. For starters, this person applied for what they believed was a real role. They were then told in the audition to do millions of different things, different ways, that they then did. As a professional, they did. They didn't question it. They did all these things. They were a professional. They handled it very well. And then they were then invited to this live event where they would have presumed that they would have got the job. They were like, oh, amazing, I've got the job. To only then turn up, probably excited and hopeful and looking forward to this, thinking they got the job, turn up to this event, to only then have their video plastered on the wall, have everyone there laugh at them, everyone there and watching it as well, all find it hilarious, to then turn around and say, yeah, there's no job. You don't have a job. But how about you promote our series for us, and if you don't, we electrocute you. Deal? And of course, if you say no, then everyone in this industry is going to think you're a bit of a dick and not really want to work with you, so you should probably say yes. Like, this person just did nothing wrong and was treated like that, and I find that very uncomfortable. However, to reiterate what Loart said, you have to be careful when it comes to what is verified and what isn't verified. I think the way this person was treated was just incredibly, like, wrong. Like, the fact that there was no reward or anything to being treated this way, and it was just detriment. Like, there was nothing. There was no on the outside, like, and here's £1 million. Like, nothing. It was just, you didn't get the job. The job doesn't exist. Everyone's laughing at you, and you want to be a voice actor? Haha, bye. Like, that is awful. That's like villain style, like, origin stories, man. It's just awful. Like I said, the best way they could have done this is to give him the freaking job. Everyone has a little bit of a laugh and it's silly, and then go, but you were such a professional, you were amazing, you did all those crazy tasks, and we saw how awesome you were listening to what we said, so you got the job. That would have been it. You know, you could have had a prank and had a reward, and it would have been perfect. Very strange decision, but again, we'll go easy on it because we don't know what's verified. It was a really well done video, by the way. I didn't expect it to be like this. When I said the joke that killed an anime, I presumed it was going to be a joke in the show. Yeah, man. I feel sorry for the guy. I feel sorry. If you guys want me to check out more low art stuff, let me know. And if you want to check out anything else, let me know. And let me know what you think about this. Do you guys know any more information around this story? Do you have any more things about it? What's your opinion on this? How do you feel? And whichever comment gets the most likes, I'll react to that next. Have yourselves an awesome day, and as always, my friends, you will see me in the next video.